Okay, hello everyone and welcome to the Microsoft Post Build 2023 series session. Every year Microsoft organizes build both on-site and virtual events. Microsoft Build presents an opportunity for developers, for students and engineers and technology professionals so that they can learn more about Microsoft technologies and its products. It's also where Microsoft shares its major updates regarding Windows and its suite of productivity apps. As guys you can see on the screen, this is Microsoft Post Build 2023 series session, and we are going to present DevOps, what, how, and where. Okay, let's share my screen. Let me share my screen. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, the Microsoft Learn community is the platform of diverse experts who are engaged in the community of learners. And if you want to join the community of Learn experts, you can go through this link and you can join the Microsoft Learn community, which is the link is given on the screen. You can see that is aka.ms / Microsoft Learn community. Also, you can join MCT Community Pakistan Learning Room, and you can see the link on the screen. So basically, the MCT Community Pakistan Learning Room is a platform of learn experts, those who can help you in Microsoft Azure, in server administration, and Microsoft 365 applications, endpoint, and many more. If you are doing some jobs or you are a student or whatever the technology field are you in, so you should join the MCT Community Pakistan Learning Room so that if you are having some technical issues or questions, you can ask and experts are there to resolve your issue. So let's move on to today's session. So we are having with us Mr. Tariq Ghouri, who is going to present his session regarding DevOps. Tariq, you can share your slide and over to you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Gulnaz. Thank you, Usman, for providing me the opportunity to present this event on this platform. Um, okay, so DevOps, what? Okay, so let's start our session. DevOps, when we talk about the DevOps right now, DevOps is just one word, but behind this word, there is a whole lot of series of different tools to be used. The concept of the DevOps is not new. It's an old concept. If I talk about, it's like the you can say that the previous name of DevOps was Agile Development. Okay, so that Agile Development concept has been now enhanced and is now called DevOps. So moving further, this is the agenda which we are going to follow in our presentation. That is, first we have introduction to DevOps, and then overview of Azure DevOps, as this DevOps has been introduced by many of the vendors. But today we'll discuss about the Azure DevOps, and then we will have a portal overview for the Azure DevOps. Then we have discussion about the CI/CD pipeline and infrastructure as code, configuration as code, monitoring, scaling, and security. And then the last thing, like everyone, when we talk about the technology and the tools, the question which raised in our minds is that how the industries or the companies are getting benefited from these tools. So we will talk about some live statistics which we have about those multinational companies. Now, when we go into the market or talk to any individual uh, who is related to tech industry or who is not related to tech industry, everyone is talking about DevOps. Why? Because this is becoming a most followed trend. Even though I know a lot of persons who were not from the tech related industry, they were from medical, they were from commerce or various fields. But now everyone is like, I have to learn DevOps, I have to learn DevOps. Now, the thing which I told them that DevOps is not a course. It's not a book that you read it and you learn it. DevOps is a whole life cycle of a software development where you have to know about various tools in each phase. Okay, before moving ahead, I'd like to show you a movie. It's a small animation where you'll see how DevOps is working in the industry. It's just kind of an illustration. You'll have a better view of the DevOps. See why it is not running. Okay.
As a company, our IT spend is huge. We need to do something to reduce our IT spend. What are your plans?
As you know, we have adopted automation now, so we don't need to keep so many people. We will fire most of them. It will save us money. World is changing. World is getting automated. People are losing jobs to robots like you. Robots help humanity by eliminating errors from actions. But a robot can do much more work and that causes job loss. It is inevitable. Robots eventually will take over the world. Then how do we survive? Robots can do repetitive jobs better, but humans are still better at innovating. But how is that useful in protecting jobs from robots? We are far from having robots that can innovate by themselves at solving random problems at work. But they are good at some mundane tasks. And we still need engineers to control them. So we may lose those mundane jobs, but we are still needed for controlling robots.
Exactly. That is the case. We write these programs to control robots. And writing these programs is where humans are still very much required. Robots control all machines like our servers, networks, etc. today. But they do only what we tell them to do.
How do you control these robots, and why do they listen to you?
The robots in IT industry follow 3 rules of robotics. Desired state configuration management, infrastructure as policy, and continuous delivery model. They are bound by these rules, and they are bound to do things only the way we desire them to do.
What are these? What is desired state configuration management?
Robots cannot do anything on their own. We write down what we want them to configure. They read our desire and then do exactly that.
Okay, that's good to know. And what is infrastructure as policy?
We define policies which are rules for managing our infrastructure such as servers or containers. Robots do their work only within the boundary of these rules.
Great, so there's quite a lot of control on robots. What is continuous delivery then?
Continuous delivery is a chain of activities as a workflow that robots need to perform. They cannot do any task beyond the activities specified in this workflow.
So that means while we are losing some jobs to automation, there is a lot of demand for human skills to control these automations too. Exactly. And you know what these new jobs are called? Yeah, what do I need to learn to become an engineer who can control such robots? In IT industry, we call this as DevOps. You need to learn DevOps. More importantly, you need to learn from a place where they cover all.
Okay. So in this video, what we have seen that a company is trying to move on to DevOps, but the main concern which came that okay, if everything is get automated, okay, and if everything is going or working through artificial intelligence or AI, as we are seeing that from last half of a year. Since then, the chat GPT has been introduced. Now the tech peoples are worried that how we are gonna save our jobs or how the things gonna work, because if everything is being acquired by AI, but not that's not the case, because those AI needs you to be to manage them. Okay, so and then how you can manage them, that's where these tools, these DevOps tools come, which you should know that okay, because you have to enhance your skills, you have to work on the updated tools, then you can be a market leader, or we can say you can be a game changer in the industry of DevOps. Okay, so now we have talked a lot DevOps. Now moving towards that, what is DevOps? Okay, so basically DevOps is a process or is a set of practices. Why we call it is a set of practices? Because it is a combination of two different, you can say, departments. That is Dev and Ops, development and operations. What this DevOps did, because when development team was developing before coming towards the agile development or this DevOps, the development team makes the code, okay, and each and everything, then that code has been deployed, and there was a waterfall model which was followed, and if anything fails in between, it has to go around again, and then there's a lot of series. Okay, but when this DevOps came in the industry, what is happening now? It is becoming an infinity cycle. Okay, development development operations, and if something fails on any step, okay, it is reversed and everything is again come into the cycle. Now, importance. What is the importance of DevOps? DevOps is because it is bridging between two departments, you can say, which has saves a lot of time and obviously enhance the quality of the software which is delivered in as a final product. Okay, so and coming towards the benefits, it has obviously improved efficiency because of the continuous integration, increased deployment because of the continuous deployment. We will talk about the CI/CD pipeline in further slides. That's the main, you can say, main component of this DevOps. Now, when we talk about the DevOps is not, you can say, is not a vendor oriented thing. Okay, you have Azure DevOps, and you have if you combine or work with the other tools, then you can also achieve DevOps. But what Azure is providing you a DevOps platform, okay, where everything is on a single interface, single platform, and which makes your deployments and development easier than any other DevOps tools. Okay, so now we have heard a lot of things about the DevOps, that we have version controlling, project management, CI/CD pipelines, package management, task planning. So these all the things are included in Azure DevOps. Like if you are with a version control, you have Azure repos, okay, and then project management with Azure boards, okay, CI/CD pipelines. You can create pipelines with Azure pipelines. Then package management with Azure artifacts, and then task planning and execution with the task plans. So these all are the tools which are used in DevOps, and all the tools are integrated into one platform, which is called Azure DevOps. Now let's have a look on the portal of the Azure DevOps. Just let me open it for you. Okay, so this is the Azure DevOps portal, where you can see I have already created an organization which is called demo. And in the demo, when we see, okay, here are the boards which in which we have work items and boards, backlogs, and everything. And then we just read that we have a version controlling through these repos, and then we have pipeline where from where we can create, deploy these CI/CD pipelines, and then we have test plans from where we can execute and test our plans. And then we have our artifacts through which we can do the project management. So here we can see that everything is on a click and go. Okay, so from here you can create repos, you can create your code and then put it in the repos. And from here, you can run your pipeline, and in the pipeline, you can give the reference of the repos from where it will pull all the code which you have already put it there. And then you can create the pipeline, and it's the whole new automation, automation pipeline will be created from where your software will be deployed and the end product will be on your screen. So you don't need to pile up all the different tools and then configure each other and then connect with each other. Just simply use Azure DevOps and everything is on a single platform. Okay, so CI/CD pipeline. What's the buzz about? Like, when we talk about the DevOps, the second thing everyone asks about is CI/CD, CI/CD pipeline. What is the CI/CD pipeline? Here, as I already told you, that DevOps is about a life cycle, a continuous integration and continuous delivery, or you can say continuous deployment. It is a set of practice, okay, where you just code, plan, release, deploy, and the whole cycle creates. And if anything or software development or anything fails in between, it will go into the cycle again. Okay, so and the components of CI/CD pipelines, we have source code management, source code management, build and test automation. This is the figure or where you can see how in Azure DevOps this whole pipeline or this whole process work. Okay, we have Microsoft Visual Studio, where you where you have different multiple tools to integrate to code, from where you can upload or push your code to the Azure repos, and then from the Azure repos it will go to the test plans, then through test plans Azure pipelines, and then we have it's just an example that we have Azure web app. Through that pipeline the code delivered to the Azure web app, and if something fails, then it goes again to the engineer develops and Visual Studio, and then it's the same complete life cycle which will goes on until the final product is delivered. Even though after the delivery of the final product, we have patch management, we have security management. Obviously, software is not complete on a single phase. We can see that we are using Microsoft Office since decades, okay, but still we receive the updates or the security patches of Microsoft Office or Microsoft Windows. Why? Because this is a never-ending process. You are making your product better and better on every week or monthly basis or yearly basis. Now, infrastructure as code. What is that? Okay, I have seen a lot of people who comes to me that, okay, we want to learn DevOps, but we hate programming. Okay, it's not an unusual thing. A lot of people who are in the IT industry, they hate doing programming. But when we talk about the DevOps, you have to learn programming. Okay, but that programming is not like the older languages where you have difficult syntax to learn. Okay, and you have a lot of difficulty in debugging the errors. Now we have moved towards infrastructure as code, as we know that in cloud, when we talk about the cloud platform, we have infrastructure as service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Then there is a thing called infrastructure as code, and then there is a thing also called configuration as code. In any cloud portal, either AWS or Azure, when we have to deploy any infrastructure, okay, we create resources like network security groups, we deploy subnets, we deploy virtual machines, we deploy storage, and a lot, the whole world we're going to deploy, but with the clicks. But when we talk about infrastructure as code, it is an approach to manage, to provision and manage using machine readable configuration files. Obviously, when we talk about any language, it is machine readable, but the beauty of this infrastructure as code is that we have the tools through which we can do the programming, which is also human readable. It is a machine readable, but it is also a human readable. That's the beauty of this infrastructure as code. And why we use it? Because it brings you the reproducibility, consistency. How reproducibility? That you code something, okay, and you save the variable. Now you want to deploy the same infrastructure in your branch company or in your sister company. Okay, you just need to run the code by changing the variables. And then there is a scalability also. You just need, if you want to scale your environment or your infrastructure, you can do through IAC or infrastructure as code. Now we talk about the IAC tools. Okay, when we talk about the Microsoft or Azure, we have three tools through which we can achieve this IAC. There is ARM templates, Azure Bicep, and Terraform. Okay, and what's the difference? Why and how do we choose them? Okay, we choose them on the basis of different reasons. What are the and what are those scenarios to select them? Language and syntax. Number one thing for the language and syntax is that it is easier. Which one is easier? So we have ARM templates, and then there is a whole new product called Azure Bicep. Okay, and then we have Terraform. Terraform is basically a multi-cloud infrastructure as code tool, but with Azure it works really very well. And then we have readability and maintainability. Then we go to the Azure Bicep or Terraform. You can say that ARM templates are widely used, but now the trend is changing. The companies are moving towards Azure Bicep or Terraform. Why towards there? Because Azure Bicep is being backed up by Microsoft because this is their own product. They have a very good support for that. And the safety, the security, obviously Microsoft is the only company, is the only tech company who invest millions and billions of dollars on their security of their products. So you can use Azure Bicep with a confidence that your code or your infrastructure is in safe hands. Then we talk about configuration as code. Infrastructure as code, we have learned that, okay, we can create infrastructure through the code, and then we can achieve scalability, security, and maintenance, and a lot of other things. But what is configuration as code? Configuration as code, you can say that, okay, we have created the infrastructure. Okay, now obviously we have to do some configuration in the infrastructure. Configuration like I've deployed a virtual machine, okay, with an operating system of Windows Server 2009. Okay, now what if I have to deploy the infrastructure, but what I want is that when the infrastructure is deployed, the virtual machine is deployed, I want that every virtual machine after creation, they should create a user with a name XYZ and with the password and the defined attributes. Okay, so that whenever I want to log into the virtual machine, I just need to put that user and log into the virtual machine. Now, the folks will say that what's the problem that once the virtual machine is created, you just go get in and create the user. But my question from them is that what if you have deployed 50 or 100 virtual machines? Okay, now it's a time consuming practice that you log in into the each virtual machine or into each every virtual server, log in and do the configurations. How about make a configuration file, okay, deploy into the pass it to the IAC, okay, and then create a pipeline, and through that pipeline you just click on the run button of the pipeline, and here where the magic will start. It will start deploying the infrastructure, and after the infrastructure is deployed, it will start doing configuration. You just sit back and relax and watching the whole magic doing on your screen. So configuration as code, it is used to configure the infrastructure, doing the internal changes into the virtual machines, into the network, or making an standard template for your company. Now, talk about the common configuration tools in the market. We have The most famous are Ansible, Puppet, Chef, SaltStack. Although when we talk about the Azure, we have configuration tools like we can do the configuration through Azure CLI, or we can do configuration through Azure PowerShell. But those tools are basically used for multiple things or multiple configurations, multiple even for deploying the infrastructure or for the configuration. So it's a multi-purpose. But when we talk about the specialized configuration as core tools, then we talk about the Ansible. Ansible is there to do your job. Okay, then we have Puppet, Chef, SaltStack. These are the most commonly or worldwide known tools for doing the configuration. Now, since the birth of the cloud computing, since everything is moving towards cloud, or companies are migrating their data center or their infrastructure to the cloud, the main concern after the cost comes, what about the security? What about the monitoring? What about the scaling? Because before the cloud, when you want to scale your infrastructure, what do you need to do? You make a whole new plan, you present it to your management, and then management approves, then it goes to the procurement, and then procurement passes a tender, and then there's a vendor management, vendor puts up the code, and it takes months of efforts, or a process of months for scaling your infrastructure. Okay, but now when the cloud has came, scaling is just a matter of few clicks, or just a matter of few seconds. Okay, you can scale your infrastructure within like this. Within seconds, it will scale up, and within seconds, it will scale down. And the most beautiful thing about that, it is an automated scaling. Okay, you don't need to scale up or scale down. Okay, it will do it automatically when you put up the parameters. Okay, this is the threshold. If this threshold passes for 5 minutes or for 10 minutes, scale up my infrastructure, add 5 virtual machines to my infrastructure. Okay, and when the threshold goes down, scale down my infrastructure. Now, talk about the monitoring. We have various tools of monitoring available in Microsoft Azure to monitor your network, to monitor your virtual machines, and even a teeny tiny service in your Microsoft Azure is being monitored and is being, you can say, secured by Microsoft. Okay, so that's the confidence given by the Microsoft to use their services. That's why they have put up the whole data center thing, or whole data center, a whole infrastructure thing in Azure. Okay, so now what does the monitoring do? It is it does the monitoring apart from the performance, the reliability of the applications which has been deployed, and the infrastructure. Obviously, we have a tool which is called Network Watcher. It does the monitoring specifically for the network. So we have specified monitoring tools available. Then we have the main thing which is called security. Microsoft always focus hard on security, compliance, and governance. These all the things can be achieved through Microsoft Azure in the DevOps. How in the DevOps we have security controls and compliance standards. How compliance standards are achieved through Azure Active Directory tenant. We can use RBAC roles, which is called role-based access control. So each and every user in the DevOps cycle will be using their role, specified role access control, or their user will have only that specific or limitation to use the component of DevOps lifecycle. So here you can achieve two things: security, three things: security, compliance, and the governance standard. Now, we have talked about everything in the DevOps. Okay, their tools, how does it work, how does it go into the life cycle management, and each and everything. Now here the question comes that how these industries or the companies in the world are getting benefited uh, through implementing DevOps. So I compiled or the summarize the case studies of two biggest, or one of the you can say biggest companies who join the Azure DevOps tools and services, and they achieved a massive profitability, okay, and customer satisfaction. Now, when we talk about the Capital One, okay, now Capital One is one of the leading financial services company, okay. They they implemented the DevOps, and the new features of their product are into the market with 50% lesser time than before. Okay, then now how these things are measured? These things are measured with three parameters, that is NPS, CES, and customer churn rate. Net promoter score, what is that? It is actually like how likely customers are recommending your services or your company services to their friend. So after implementing the DevOps, this NPS increased from 35% to 50%. Okay, that's a huge margin of 15% they have achieved after implementing the DevOps. CS, when we talk about the CS, it is it is a parameter that how the customers feel ease to do business with the company. Okay, and it is decreased from 4% to 2%. Okay, it's not basically a percent, it is a measurement of unit, that the lesser the unit, the bigger customer satisfaction is there. Okay, so customer after implementing the DevOps, customer were felt very easy to deal with the company because it's a financial service. When we have to open any account, bank account in any bank, we do the R&D. What's the R&D? R&D, like how many branches this bank has, how many ATM machines this bank has, and the most important thing we see is that I have their application in my mobile. How user friendly is that? How many features are there in that application? Okay, so that's the thing, or those are the parameters where you choose any company to do business with. So after deploying, after achieving, or after implementing the DevOps, the rate of the new features comes very fast. Okay, second study, PayPal. PayPal, one of the largest financial or payment gateway or payment service provider into the world. Okay, they have also achieved a massive 15% of NPS after implementation of DevOps, from 30 to 45%. Okay, then the CES they have achieved from 3 to 1, which is massive improvement. And then customer churn rate from 7% to 4%. Okay, so this is how the companies, the biggest financial companies of the world, are getting benefited, and there are a whole lot of case studies available on the internet where you can see that after implementation of DevOps, their profit margin or their customer satisfaction or their delivery of products, how it was improved. Okay, so thank you so much. That's all from my side. If you want to follow the updates about Microsoft Azure, Microsoft products, Microsoft Cloud, automation, or the tools, you can just follow me on my WhatsApp and on my LinkedIn. Uh, Thank you so much for this session. And if you have any question, you can ask me right away.
Thank you, Tariq, for the session, and thanks to the attendees who joined this session. And please stay tuned to the Microsoft Post Bill 2023 session series, and we will announce the upcoming sessions very soon. And don't forget to join the MCT Community Pakistan Learning Room. I have also shared the link with you. You can find that from the chat. And the Learning Room is the platform of experts where you can get the technical help from the industry learning experts. So we will be back to you with some other exciting session, and till then, take care and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for your time and for joining the session today. And we will get back to you with new sessions soon. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.